Alright
Um,
guys, we are going to get into game number 3, Liquid Red against Complexity Ganzi. MLG Dual Site will be the map. What can we expect from this game? What do you think, Alex?
all right, so Ganzi chose the map. And it's really like this is like most people consider this a Zerg map, to be honest, when you get past 3 bases. But I think it's a Terran map on 2 bases. So I feel like Ganzi's going to go for a 1 base or 2 base all in and then just try to get a quick win right here. But I could be wrong. Anything can
Yeah,
happen.
it seems like he's been very heavy on the 2-base timings in the previous 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if he does a similar build as to what he did the previous games. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. We do have Complexity Ganzi, who is going to be the blue Terran opponent in the left position of MLG Dual Site.
Hmm.
And if you look on the right position, we do have Liquid Red spawning as the red Zerg.
Yep, TVZ on dual site. I'm super intrigued. Obviously, Ganzi down 2-0. I didn't expect it to happen this way. Obviously, Liquid fans out there are going to hate me for saying that, but or maybe not. Hopefully, they won't. Ganzi is a very strong player. You know, he's very strong. Used to be on Slayers, is now on Complexity, and this is just showing how good Red is right now. I think. You know, had a great performance at the Red Bull LAN. I'm not sure his overall standing at MLG. Do you remember? I know it wasn't like top. It wasn't top 8. I don't think. Um,
From what I recall, I think he made it into. He obviously made it into the championship bracket, but
yeah, because he was in pool play.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he didn't he
I
didn't like shoot off any fireworks and get first or anything. So, and I think the last two foreigners in that was Huck and Naniwa, and
Huck and Ed-
they were like Huck was obviously like 4th and Naniwa was like 8th or something.
Yeah, I think Ganzi's teammate Hart was the one that took third before Huck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. You're right. But yeah, I mean, both these players incredibly good. Rhett showing exactly how good he is. It seems like in both these games, he's been like one step ahead of Ganzi. And that's like kind of hard to do, to be one step ahead of a great Korean player. So kudos to Rhett. You know, he's really been working hard lately, and I'm glad to see it's paying off. But who knows? Ganzi can easily pull it back. This is a best of 5. It's game point for Rhett, or it's match point, I should say, for Rhett. That being said, though, Ganzi opening up with a quick gas and going to add on a factory, then probably a reactor, and then go into that Hellion production, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm gonna think it's gonna be Hellions. He does have the gas. Just as you said, he does have his barracks. Gonna wall off a little bit with the supply depot, but not to take away from
Oh, he's
Ganzi.
putting sorry, he's putting in
Go ahead.
he's putting his barracks in a position to put an add-on on it.
Oh,
Uh,
maybe it's gonna be
but then again, he could just
tech
build a
lab.
reactor for the factory. Go ahead.
Okay. What I was gonna say, not to take away from Ganzi, Rhett playing good, but the thing is, I don't. Maybe Ganzi's just not sure, or maybe hasn't faced the style of Liquid Rhett's Zerg
That's
versus Terran.
true.
Maybe he's used to that Mutaling Baneling play, not getting enough practice maybe in Korea against that Ling Infestor heavy play. So not to take away from him, maybe he's just not comfortable against what Rhett's doing in the previous 2 games. So is Rhett going to continue with his Ling Infestor play, or is he going to transition into Mutaling Baneling? On this map, I would assume maybe Mutaling Baneling would be a better option, as it is a pretty
Yeah.
large map. Really gives you much more mobility with the mutas. And there's actually a lot of little small areas on the map which might not be so good for that Ling Infestor play. Usually you want to have a large surface area to give yourself nice surrounds with that composition.
Yeah, I mean, that's the art of best of 5s. You're able to kind of feel out your opponent's play strategy and then adjust accordingly. Now, Rhett, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it ain't broke, don't or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is that the term? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
So I feel confident he's going to stick with the same strategy, but I also think he's going to be really on top of his scouting because he knows this map. Once it gets to 3 bases, at least I think. You know, it's really easy. It's pretty darn easy to prevent your Terran opponent from taking a third because of it's so far away from your natural, and there's so many attack paths leading into both. Unlike Cloud Kingdom, where there's just one ramp leading into natural, and then one 2 attack paths leading to the third. So we'll see what happens. And that being said, Ganzi adding on a starport, supply depots need to be lifted up, but the Zergling does get by. So again, Rhett super on top of his scouting. I love this play.
Yeah. Is it going to be medevac drop? Okay, just as I say that, Ganzi starts with the medevac. So it looks like it's going to be a similar opening to game 1 with the Marine Hellion push from Ganzi. And again, Rhett's opening similar to game number 2, as I say. 4 Queen opening, again, going to give himself a lot of creep spread on the map. This is, again, a very big map, so it's very important to have your creep spread all the way across your opponent's base. Getting a few Spine Crawlers in position too at the natural for Rhett. And Rhett making 14 Lings. Is he going to be aggressive, or is he going to be defensive with these Lings?
He is preparing for this incoming push from Ganzi. He scouted it out. He knows exactly what's going on. Putting creep on the high ground in his main base. That is so smart. Trying to get the creep to the edge so that if the drop does happen, he can be immediately prepared for that. That being said, though, he doesn't have speed yet. I think he just now started mining his gas. So we'll have to see how much damage Ganzi can do. But Rhett is going to be just going to be waiting here on the high ground for it.
Yeah, Rhett's absolutely prepared. He has a lot of queens on the map. He does have a decent amount of lings as well. 20 lings, making even more, 10 additional lings in production. And yeah, similar play to game one, man. Ganzi gonna try to load up here in the medevac, drop the Marines onto the high ground, into the main base of Rhett. Rhett absolutely has beautiful creep spread with the knowledge that knows that this attack is on the way. And so many queens, oh my god.
Yeah.
All of these units are gonna go down for Ganzi. Just not a good call by Ganzi.
Yeah, I mean, again, Rhett knew exactly what was coming. One queen getting over-eager at the low ground. She is going to lose her life. Yeah, there she goes. Flops into a million pieces on the map of
they don't need her.
Site. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's kind of mean. That's a mean thing to say.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if Rhett really wanted to keep it alive, he would have kept it alive. Maybe transfuse her. But I don't know. She died. That's the main point. Sad, but true.
Poor queen. But the point is, Rhett, like, just demolishing that push. Like, no biggie. No big deal whatsoever. And again, it came down to that link into the base. Like, he saw the starport. He's like, hey, Ganzi, I know exactly what you're doing. You're still going to do it? Ganzi's like, yep. And Rhett's like, okay, you're going to pay for it. And Ganzi did pay for it. So the good news is for Ganzi, he put an expansion down behind this, transitioning out of this, adding on stim, adding on a medevac. Rhett trying to take this third. It might get to 9 here. 3 queens slowly crawling forward, trying to deal with it. But that's not going to be enough. Rhett has to be careful with these queens. Losing 1, losing 2. Actually, Rhett might lose every single one of these queens. And he... Yeah. Oh, wow. 11 HP.
Almost.
But not good losing 2 queens there.
Yeah, a little bit of uncharacteristic move from Rhett. I think that's definitely a little bit of a mistake, not knowing his queens were at his third. But with that being said, it looks like the metabolic boost is almost getting completed here for Rhett. Throwing down a Baning Nest as well as 2 additional Spine Crawlers, also getting started with his melee attacks level 1. And behind this, as you said, you can see Ganzi with his stim, moving across the map again towards that left side watchtower, maybe going to try to put additional pressure onto the third. He really does not want Rhett to be able to take this third so easily.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. At the same time, Rhett counterattacking to the natural expansion. Plenty of Marines there, so don't expect these links to do too much damage. Ganzi gonna micro quite a bit. Medvac comes out to help the cause, but the story here is the third is going to be taken out by Ganzi. Rhett sending the majority of his units to his opponent's base means that he's going to have less at home to defend against this incoming aggression from Ganzi, and this third should go down unless I'm like missing like a billion links somewhere on the map that are about to swing in to deal with this.
No, it's gonna go down.
Yeah.
So good use of the Marines there for Ganzi. He does take out the third, but the problem here is Rhett has 57 drones. Ganzi only has 31 SCV, so a little bit of a harvester differential between both players. But behind this, looks like Ganzi gonna get started as well on his combat shield. Gonna mix a few tanks in his composition, so it looks like he's gonna be very Marine and siege tank heavy. And I would not be surprised if he goes again for one of these 2 base timings with this composition.
Yeah, it could happen, and I talked about disrupting with the Zerg earlier, and we have 2 drops going off from Ganzi. One in the main base of Rhett. Rhett is not prepared for this, doesn't have any lings up here, just now swinging him up there, but at the same time there's a drop in the natural expansion of Ganzi with some great multitasking here. If I had the EG split screen utility, I would use it right now, but I don't have that. Pretty cool feature there by EG, just want to throw it out there, even though we're technically competing with them right now for viewers. But Ganzi storming forward with the Marines in a tank, again, repeatedly trying to deny this third from Rhett, and that's exactly what you have to do against Rhett, you know, to put yourself in a good situation. That hatchery not even canceled.
Yeah, Ganzi in a pretty good position, I have to say. He does have a supply lead now in the game. Completely denying a third, and again, completely denying a third on the bottom right. So Rhett really limited to his 2-base play. Looks like he's just going to end up getting a macro hatch in his main. Also getting started with his pathogen glands. And the composition for Rhett looks very similar to the previous games. Does have his Evo Chambers, does have his Baning Nest. Probably going to get started on these Infestors very shortly. Siege tanks continue to be pumped out here for Ganzi. He just got done with Siege mode. And Ganzi having a little bit more presence on the map, which I like very, very much.
Yeah, this is honestly like really cool play from Ganzi. I think this is why he chose the map. He's like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prevent my Zerg opponent from taking a third, and he's done a great job of that so far. He does have that supply lead, 94 to 78. Rhett keeps throwing units away at Ganzi's base. He just sent some lings in there that all died to a bunch of to 2 tanks and a few Marines. So Ganzi's gonna drop on the high ground, positioning his tanks on the low ground. Great positioning there from Ganzi. And Rhett, he's in a lot of trouble here. I don't see how he's gonna deal with this.
Yeah, it looks like Rhett trying to go actually onto the lower ground, really taking out a lot of these siege tanks. Nice move by Rhett. His upgrades are doing so much work for him, 1-1 on these lings. And Rhett really, very nicely done, cleans it up fairly easily. And Ganzi now pulls back.
I was like
Doesn't
in the
really
middle
have-
of saying I don't see how Rhett's gonna do this, and then like as I was saying that, I saw a bunch of lings like going down towards the army, and I'm like, you can't stop what you're saying at that point. So yeah, Rhett cleaning that up quite nicely, and that's actually a little bit surprising to me. Like, how did Ganzi? I'm trying to think. How did Ganzi screw that up?
I completely agree with you. When you look at the size, you kind of think Ganzi would win the battle.
Yeah, and the creep spread. I mean, okay, the creep spread was good for Rhett, but I'm like, the positioning of his tanks was so good too. 1-1 on those lings. Ganzi's at 0-0 on his marines, so I guess that's one thing.
Maybe spread. Maybe his unit spread was what won him excuse me. Maybe the flanking that Rhett did, because he did have units on the low ground and the high. And yeah, I mean, he won it. That's what happened.
Yep, he's good. And now look, he went from 30 down in supply to 10 up in supply in just that engagement. So pretty cool play there from Rhett. But Ganzi going to be dropping at his third again, trying to deny this from happening. Going to try to kill some drones. Not a bad idea at all. Income tab shows 55-49 in favor of Rhett. 20 workers killed for Ganzi thus far, so not bad at all as far as harassment goes.
Absolutely. And if you look back at Ganzi's composition, he's still with this heavy marine siege tank play. I don't think he's going to take a third here anytime soon. And man, he's just going to be even more aggressive. Looks like he's going to move across the map yet again with a bigger force this time, 5 medevacs. He now has 3 tanks and 27 marines. So Ganzi pretty much looking to put the nail in the coffin with this push. Rhett looks like he's not going to have any of that. He looks like he's going to be prepared for this upcoming attack. 8 infestors already on the map. 47 lings for Rhett. Both players are fairly even in supply, but Rhett does not want to have that elevator play happen again. Immediately going to engage into this army, throwing down infested Terrans, throwing down Fungals, killing some of the army, but Ganzi going to come a little bit ahead in this engagement.
Yeah, that Rhett definitely did a decent job there, holding off that attack. Nice fungal growth, surprising Ganzi quite a bit. I think that all those Marines got cleared up at the third of Rhett. At the same time, Rhett can engage again. Nice fungal growth going on the Marines, a tank and a few of those medevacs. But what's the reinforcement potential like for Rhett? Continuing forward with these infestors, losing quite a bit of them to those siege tanks, and it looks like he should clean this up. But Ganzi definitely not gonna give up here.
Yeah, Ganzi just continuing to reinforce now. 7 Marines continue to make their way across the map. Liquid Rhett, barely holding this, but he does have a decent amount of lings on the way as well. 24 lings. Also, his upgrade almost completed for his Carapace level 2, so he is going to make his lings that much better. But Ganzi continuing just to send units across the map, and I'm not too sure if Rhett is going to keep holding on.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Ganzi's transition idea is. Like, he's been on 2 base for a long time. He keeps on pouring the aggression. Where does he go from here? Does he add a 3rd command center? But the fact of the matter is, he doesn't have the money for that right now. He's continually making those units at the same time. Ganzi going to be caught off guard a little bit, and I'm caught off guard a little bit too. Lynx and Infestors coming forward from Rhett, again swallowing up this entire army from Ganzi, and there's the GG. Ganzi just has no answer to this play from Rhett.
Yeah, I mean, Rhett he read it beautifully. Again, he had an idea that he read it beautifully. I'm sorry, I had to use it. Sorry.
Good.
Just don't use it in your previous cast. That's mine.
All right.
But anyway, Rhett, he read it really well. He knew that Ganzi was strictly on 2 base. He knew that it's obviously going to be a very strong timing, which Ganzi was just so aggressive with his Marine Marine Siege Tank medevac composition. He tried to do the elevator play, which might have won him the game, but the thing is, Rhett's positioning with his lings, with his infestors, was really able to engage the army and do maximum damage as possible. So beautiful play by Rhett. Ganzi, unfortunately, was not able to take a game off of Rhett in this best of 5 series. But props to Ganzi, props to Rhett. Thank them so much for being able to do the show match. And Rhett's going to be the winner of the match, man. 3-0 over Complexity Ganzi.
Yeah, and I wanna suggest everyone go tweet at Rhett and tell him he did a great job today. I don't think players get tweeted at enough. So definitely go congratulate him on this victory. 3-0 over Ganzi. Very impressive play from Rhett. And honestly, like, there wasn't a point where I was scared for Rhett too much, except for that game 3 when he was down 30 supply. But just showing the cost efficiency of infestors, I guess. And dealing with those engagements from Ganzi, and just having an answer to everything Ganzi put forth. So really good play from Rhett, and hopefully we get to see more of him in this show match series you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try to do my best to be able to get players like Liquid Rhett, players like Complexity Ganzi, to be able to do matches like this for the community. And with that being said, man, it was an absolute pleasure to cast with you, Axeltoss. I hope you had the same experience as I did. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys make sure you tune in next Tuesday where I will have 2 additional players on this Tuesday night Showmatch series. There will be a thread posted on Team Liquid. And with that being said, follow me on Twitter, please, at SC2PrOmise. And Axel, go ahead.
Yeah, you can follow me at Axeltoss on Twitter, which is the @ sign and then AXELTOSS. I'd appreciate if you did that, if you like the casting, and if you like hanging out and reading tweets that are mildly entertaining sometimes. But yeah, man, I want to thank you for having me on here. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching this show match. And apologies for anyone who was looking forward to Hyen versus Vines. Unfortunately, there was a communication mishap in that regard, but hopefully we can get them on in future show matches.
Yeah, we actually, you know what? A little bit of messaging from Rhett. He might actually come on to do a little bit of an interview.
Oh, perfect. That would be spectacular.
That would be fun.
Yes,
that would be
please.
amazing.
What's his?
Let's go ahead and confirm to make sure he can do that.
That is.
Let me see if he's down. So that way we're going to go ahead and ask him a few questions about the match, if he had any idea with Liquid Rhett's, or excuse me, with Ganzi's style. Maybe he had experience playing against Ganzi, maybe he didn't. It's just he played it absolutely well.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and add him on Skype.
Cool.
And we'll ask him a few questions.
Nice. I have like a really, I have a lot of questions.
You have one specific question you want to ask?
I do. I have one specific, and then I'll probably have more after that.
Yeah, they're just going to keep coming.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That's good though.
Someone said Houston in the chat. Why'd you say Houston?
Houston?
Oh, I think they see my screen.
Oh, they said that to you or to me?
To me. Well, I live in College Station, and there's actually a live event in Houston coming up. So I'm wondering if they knew about that. But then I realized that I'm in a channel Houston right now on StarCraft 2, and they probably saw that. That is for a specific reason. If you want to know, you can message me.
You know what? Do you want to do some Twitter questions?
If there are any, if anyone has a question for Rhett, definitely hit us up on Twitter. Either me at Axeltoss or yours was SC2PrOmise.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead. 2 questions me, 2 questions you, and then a few from the community.
Sure.
That way we don't take up too much time from Rhett.
Absolutely.
So guys, tweet at Axeltoss on Twitter, and then tweet at me at SC2PrOmise. And you know, we're gonna go ahead and pick the best questions. Please, no troll questions. We don't really have time for that, but we're gonna go ahead and try to pick the best questions to ask Rhett, and hopefully he can get them answered.
Yeah, man. Send in those questions, and if I already have one in mind, so if you use that one, I'm gonna ask it and take credit for it. But,
Okay.
is he being added to the call now?
Yes, he is. I think I'm calling him right now.
Hey, what's up?
Rhett.
Hey, what's up, Rhett?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Just wanted to say congratulations on your 3-0 victory over Ganzi, and hopefully we can ask you a few questions if you're okay with that. Of course, I wouldn't have expected you to answer the call if you weren't okay with that.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that,
All
and
right.
thank you.
Awesome. So the first question I have, in Game 1, you were able to... Well, there were 2 things that surprised me a little bit. It was Antigua Shipyard. You opened up with 15 hatch, then you put your spawning pool behind the mineral line. Now, obviously his Reaper came around, and his Reaper was trying to get to the natural, and the spawning pool was there blocking his position. Did you put your spawning pool there for that specific reason? Did you know he was going Reaper?
No, it's not because of Reaper, but I'd like to put it on the left side of the base, basically because if they drop you in late game, they will most of the time drop you on the right side of the base.
Okay.
But the Reaper thing was just lucky, I guess.
Also, you also made you've also been making 6 slings at the beginning of your games. I've noticed a lot of Zerg players think that's a pretty big investment if you can't do a lot of damage, considering all the larvae that could be spent on drones. Is that just for map control, or are you doing this to try to counteract Ganzi's style? Because I noticed you're able to force him to cancel his main base or his natural expansion in Game 1, which was definitely a huge thing for you.
Yeah, it's just something I like to do because when Terran goes Hellion, they like to come out with 2 Marines. And if you have 4 Lings, then an SCV and 2 Marines can usually take out the 4 Lings. So I like to make 6 just so I can push them back and, you know, disrupt them a little bit from what they are used to. So, but in this game, it was obviously a huge payout for the 6 Lings. You can't normally get that.
Yeah.
You can, sometimes you can do a little bit more than you should, which is nice. And because I've been playing without gas, like I've been doing like 4 queen openings. I really don't mind making the 6 Zerglings so much because even if you uh, don't do anything with them, it's still really useful against Hellions that might try to run up your main.
All right, Promise, you got questions?
Yeah. I actually have a good question for Rhett. So, adding to your queen opening, it pretty much gives you the mobility on the creep. Obviously, you're able to spread your creep across the map very quickly. And with that being said, from the games I usually watch of you, you're usually using the Mutiling Baneling composition. What made you switch it over to Infesterling, and do you think that's overall a better composition against Terran in the current metagame in TVZ?
It's something that I've only recently started playing like this. I think maybe the last week or something.
Wow.
I started switching up my style because, well, Stefano has had a lot of success with Infesterling, and a lot of the Zergs on my team, like TLO and Sheth and Hader, they've been playing a lot with this style, and they've been telling me it's really good. So I started trying it, and I really like it. So I've just been playing it almost exclusively now for the last week.
Okay. Do you have any Twitter questions, Alex?
Yeah, I have one from Brad Beard, or at Wolf's Dude. He's asking about IPL4. Are you going to be attending that event? I'm assuming you are. And what do you feel your chances are for that event?
Yes, I'm definitely going there, actually, on Thursday. I think the open bracket is probably the hardest bracket that any foreign tournament has ever seen.
Absolutely.
There's the 2 GSDL teams. All 9 Liquid members are in the open bracket.
Wow.
A lot of other really good Koreans. So if I make it, it would probably be a little bit surprising. But you know, I've been playing a lot, so I'm gonna try my best. I don't know. It's possible, but I think for anyone to make it, you're gonna have to beat like 4 or 5 like top Korean players in a row. So the odds are against me, but I'm gonna try my best. I think I have a decent chance against anyone out there. It's just really hard to win like back-to-back consistently, but we'll see.
Yeah, and you know, to add to that, a lot of it's going to come down to luck as well, and it depends on who's playing good that day and that time. So, you know, pretty much anything can happen. There could be huge upsets. There could be, you know, pretty known games that are going to happen. So anything can happen in that match. But again, one other question I want to ask you is, I've been hearing rumors that you might be going over to Korea to live in the OGS Team Liquid House. Is that going to happen anytime soon? Are you planning to go to Korea? Are you just going to continue living in Europe? How are your plans in terms of that?
I really wanted to go back to Korea at the beginning of the year, but there's just so many tournaments all the time that going to Korea is not really feasible right now for me, because if I was in Korea, I'd basically have to leave the country like every 2 weeks to attend a tournament. So I prefer staying in Europe and America, so I'm much closer to the tournaments and reduced travel time. And I'm definitely going to be in Europe for like at least the next 4 months. So no plans.
Okay, cool. Well, that's all I have for
Awesome.
for Rhett.
Me too.
Okay. With that being said, man, thank you very much for playing the show match. It was kind of a last-minute thing. I tried getting a few Koreans on, but it was just the time zone. They just, I don't know, it was just hard to communicate with them. But congratulations, 3-0 over Complexity Ganzi. And thank you for coming on to do the interview. Go ahead and grab your drink if you haven't grabbed it already. Sorry to do that. But congratulations, Rhett.
Also, any shout-outs you want to give? Any sponsor shout-outs or anything like that? Your Twitter, all that good stuff.
My Twitter, definitely twitter.com/LiquidRhett, and my team, Team Liquid, our sponsors, Razer, Twitch TV, the little app factory.
All right.
That's it. Thank you guys a lot for having me.
No problem. Thank you.